In this lesson, we're going to create the final details for the face. Alright, so we've finished up all of the clothes for our character, and now we just want to finish up some of the final details. I'm really happy with the way the character is coming out. You know, we might add a little bit more damage to the pants. Okay, you can do that. We've spent several lessons, you know, working in damage in between lessons, letting you do that with those brushes, and so you can do that. But now I just want to start getting into the mode of finishing up and getting this to the final state. And so we want to work on the face just a little bit more. So let's go to the subtool for the body, and we're going to go up to our highest subdivision level on that. Okay, and there are several of those. You can go to geometry, just make sure that you're there. And I'm going to go ahead and go to my subtool, and let's hide the hood. And we're going to come in and we're going to add in pores and wrinkles and things like that. Okay. So to do this, let's go ahead and go to our standard brush. And let me find that here. And we're going to use the drag rect. And we're going to bring in an alpha. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and import that. So under my alphas folder, okay, again, we're not going to have these, but I do have a text file in this folder that will give you the link on where you need to go for this. So you see here that we've got several different alphas that we can use. And so I'm going to go ahead and start out with the pores first. And I'm going to start dragging these out. Okay, now with this, you can see that it comes in very large. And it started to spin around there. Why did it do that? Well, let's take a look at our brush. Let's make sure that we reset our orientation to where the spin rate is set to 0. And there we go. Okay, so now whenever we drag that in, that appears properly. Now pores go in the opposite way there. So what we'll do is we'll hold down Alt and we'll just drag those in. Okay. Now normally pores are not real big. Okay, like this, and they're definitely not that intense. Okay, on younger type characters. Now, some pores, most of the pores that are pretty large, are going to be right here along the cheekbone and on the nose. But I want to make sure that my intensity is drawn down a little bit here. So, kind of bring in some of these and start spreading those around across the face. Okay, keeping them moderate sized and following along with the contours of the face. Okay, now these are going to be like large pores. Okay, that we'll see. They're going to be very subtle. Okay, you might see some here on the end of the nose. Something like that. And then we'll bring in another alpha. We'll import that. We have pores small. And then these will be mixed in between those as well. Let's go ahead and take our intensity up on this one. So these will begin to kind of come in between. These will be a little more intense, okay, on the face. And these will be spread out a little bit more along, maybe even into the cheeks, more along the nose and the nostrils. Okay, you see these on the face. Now you're really going to see these on like a weathered face, one that's a little older. Now we want our character, we want her to have these pores in. We want to show blemishes and things like that. So I'm just going to kind of spread these out a little bit, trying to stay light as much as possible. And then if you need to, just kind of bump over the top of those with the smooth brush, and it'll kind of lighten those up a little bit more. Okay, good. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at another alpha that we have. We've got eye wrinkles, we got eye bottoms. Okay, and then we've got these fine wrinkles. I'm going to go ahead and come in here with this. On the fine wrinkles, let me go ahead and draw my size down a little bit. The fine wrinkles, I'm going to put these like in the corners of the eye. Now again with this, I'm going to make sure that I hold down Alt, and I'm going to drag this out, and I'm going to just follow along with the contours of the eye like this, and just drag those across. Okay, right in there. Okay, and just trying to, you know, add in these subtle details. Again, our character, you know, it's a post-apocalyptic world. We don't know what's going on or whatever, but I'm pretty sure that would wear somebody out and would start to create these age lines and these wrinkles, even on younger characters. Okay, so just kind of bringing those in. You're also going to see these fine wrinkles like right across the chin like this. Trying to get that right size and angle on that. Go ahead and try this one more time. Here we go. Okay, and then you might even see these right around the nose, cheek area. And it's okay to just make some small ones and then just kind of spread them out a little bit. And then we'll go right above the nose and the nostril, just kind of outline that. Okay, and you can see exactly, you know, what that adds to our character, and it really just brings out those details. Okay. You could also do this around the corner of the eye. So again, you know, we've got kind of these wrinkles coming in there. Okay. All right. Now, you know, I've added in all the wrinkles that I really want to on this character. Maybe you can add maybe a couple more on the nose, something like that. You just kind of want to think about how the face is going to be curled. Maybe, you know, character spending a lot of time in the sun, you know, and eyes wrinkled down and the face kind of scrunched together, and these lines will just begin to show up, okay, on a character like that. Let's go ahead and import bottom lips wrinkles. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start painting these in. Let me hold down Alt and I bring these in, and creating a texture on the lips. You can see here that we've got not quite enough. You know, got some there. I'd like to go up another subdivision level, but I think I'm outside of my memory there, and I don't want this to crash, and I definitely don't want it to crash for you either. So if you can, you may bump that up again, but I'm just trying to create these wrinkles on the lips. Okay, just so that way you can see that difference there. And that'll even go on the outside of the lip there too. Okay. All right, so I'm really happy with that. And then we also need to make sure, let's come in with something like the clay buildup brush and a small brush. We want to come in and we want to make the eyebrows. Now the eyebrows can be done a couple of different ways. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, make them a separate piece of geometry. But I just want to come in and make some eyebrows, and I'll start out small, trying to follow along with an arc, okay, in the brow here. And one thing to remember is in a post-apocalyptic world, probably not worrying too much about tweezed eyebrows, but we still want, you know, some sort of femininity to that. Okay, so there we have our eyebrows. And eyelashes, you know, we can bring those in. I'm probably going to do that with, or I'm actually going to do that with just a single piece of mesh. I'm not going to do individual eyelashes. That's just not absolutely necessary for this. And so what I'm thinking about with hair is doing it kind of like game character hair. And so usually we're going to be using planes. And so that's what we're going to actually get into in our next lesson, is we're going to learn how to create hair for a character like this as if it were going to be going into a game. And so we'll get into that next.